Will Cam Newton be good to go for this Sunday's game against Denver? I'm Mariah Janos, joined by Evan Lazar. Evan, it's been 9 days since Cam Newton tested positive for COVID-19. That 14-day mark is this coming Saturday, so just 24 hours before the Broncos game. Do you think Cam will play?
Well, right now, Cam has not produced two negative tests in a row. This coming from Jay Glazer yesterday, and I can confirm this morning that it still hasn't happened for Cam. But with that being said, the rules have changed slightly for the NFL. Now, after 10 days of being COVID positive, if you're still not showing any symptoms, then you can actually come back and practice and play in games. The CDC basically says that by that point, if you're asymptomatic, you're most likely not a very strong carrier of the COVID-19 virus, so you can basically chalk it up to something like just a slight positive type of test. So if he remains asymptomatic, then he doesn't even need to produce those negative tests starting tomorrow. He can just get right back out there. So I think the question really boils down to how much risk the Patriots want to take on with Cam Newton and say, okay, he still hasn't produced a negative test or two negative tests, but he's now past that 10-day mark, so we're going to take our chances. Or are they going to play it safe and say we're not going to put him back out on the field until he tests negative twice with the PCR test, not the point of care test, but the ones that get sent out to the lab.
Today's segment is powered by CarShield, America's #1 auto protection company. Call 800-CAR-6000 and mention the code BEAT, or go to carshield.com and enter the promo code BEAT for 10% off. That's carshield.com, promo code BEAT. Now, in the event that he produces two negative tests, or like you said, tomorrow is that 10-day grace period is up.
Yep.
Do you think he'll still start on Sunday without having practiced this whole time?
Absolutely. I think as soon as he gets back out on the field now, we'll see how many days he's able to practice this week, if at all. I don't think it will be a situation where he'll play with zero practices under his belt, but as long as they can get him back out there for a couple of practices, one or two, hopefully that Friday session is really the biggest one, because that's when you go over a lot of situational stuff, third down, red area. The first and second down plays Cam has been running since training camp, so it's nothing really new. Friday's a big game plan specific sort of day of this is what we're going to do. This is the looks that they're going to give us in critical situations. So that's a very important day to be out there as a quarterback. So as long as he can get out there for Friday, I don't see why not. And I think that the Patriots are well aware, as all of us are well aware, that he's clearly their best option to win that game against Denver. So would you just put him out there even if he's, let's say, 75% ready? Is that better than 100% of Brian Hoyer or Jared Stidham? I would say yes. Obviously, it's not an injury, so we're just talking about him being medically cleared from the coronavirus to be able to get out there and play.
Now, in the event that Cam isn't ready, we circle back to the original question of who's going to get the start. You had said start Brian Hoyer. If it really, just keep him on a short leash, bring in Jarrett Stidham, worst comes to worst. Do you stick to that?
Well, that's what I would do, but the team, from what I've heard, is actually leaning towards starting Jared Stidham in this game if Cam Newton cannot play. Jared Stidham was going to start today, or Monday as we're recording this, if the Patriots had played tonight. It was going to be Jared Stidham under center. I think that they're just looking for somebody that can create more plays, both inside and outside the pocket, and just elevate the scheme. Brian Hoyer actually did a decent job outside of the three, boneheaded mistakes of running the offense, of running the scheme, but his arm strength, his arm talent, his playmaking ability is extremely limited, so he just wasn't bringing anything else to the table. He was kind of just pointing the ball in the direction it was supposed to go in and moving the chains as best as he could that way. I think that they want somebody that's a little bit more of a playmaker, a little bit more of a threat to the defense to stretch the field vertically, certainly, and Jared Stidham gives them all of that. So they were leaning towards Stidham for tonight if they did play this game on Monday night, and I think that they would probably continue to lean towards Stidham as the week progresses.
Interesting stuff. All right. For all of our Patriots coverage, head over to clnsmedia.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel over at Patriots Press Pass.